Hello everyone, this is BIGALSKI.
And this is JTB.
And this is Chapter 9 of my Ninja Gaiden Sigma, making the end of Chapter Master Ninja rankings for the Master Collection. This is on normal, and this little first part is the jump that you can make down. If you go just a little bit farther to the right to what I am, you can jump all the way down. I just, instead of trying to, like here we go right here. If I was a little bit farther to the right, but I mean that's really all you got to do right there, instead of trying to run all the way down and or find little things. You know, it saves you a few seconds, and this chapter time limit is it's not that bad, but it definitely helps on hard where the chapter time limit's really short. But I decided to leave all of this in the fights and show the positioning and the distance. Now I have the level 2 lunar versus if I was doing a karma run where I wouldn't upgrade it, and so the spacing is a lot different. Of course, having the windmill shuriken can kill the guys, and so I got to kind of be careful of that. So anyway, this is not just as easy as if you're playing for score. And I think I really don't need to play for score, because I think, you know, I would get it if I could just go through it, but I still want to have a good score. So I'm kind of being a little overkill here, I think. But
yeah, you could do. I mean, like for zombie encounters, like if you don't want to just, you know, kind of pseudo farm them, like just do one. Like you can chain back-to-back UTs with the dragon sword super easily on zombies. With level 2, as long as you don't have any damage buffs on. Like you know, your essence will stagger perfectly every time, so you could easily get like one zombie, one UT rather per zombie here.
Well, you know, if people want to upgrade their score or get a higher score, this is a pretty easy way of increasing your score. Plus, it helps with understanding the timing of it. One of the main things that you want to get to is after you kill an enemy, have it where he's while he's charging, that's when the essence comes out, so you don't have to be almost fully charged that first ET, like right here. Well, I had an extra essence out.
Yeah, there was another one there, but like if that had been just a split second earlier, yeah, you want to try and stagger it so you get your first charge and then the essence pops, and then that's
right there. Yeah, what just happened right there. That's how you want it to be, because if your timing's off just a little bit on the kills, you'll almost get it, and then that essence will come. So then you won't. You have to wait for the rest of the charge to happen, and that's like what, 2 seconds or something like that.
Yep, 2 seconds every time.
And then if you multiply that times, 10 enemies or 60 enemies in this case, that really adds up, and that's a lot of points lost right there. So on this right here, I didn't go straight for the archer. I tried it a couple times, and every time I came in towards him, he shot me every time. And I said, you know what? Let me try something a little bit different. Again, I could stand kind of in the middle of the area and just UT and maybe get 25, 30 UTs, and that's good enough for the ranking. But, I wanted to see, could I get all 50 UTs with 60 enemies with the level 2 lunar, and it turns out pretty good. I do have a little wasted movement in there, and I think that's something too that people could try to maybe appreciate a karma run, is understanding the positioning and the movement and the animations of the enemies as they're dying, and how you can use that to your advantage. So I think I used the windmill shuriken, and if it kills somebody, it's not the end of the world, but it always seemed to stun. It didn't like bounce off of.
Yeah, I kind of wish it did that in black. It'd be nice. It is a nice way to like stagger the zombies back.
So I don't really go over for a while to kill the archer. He's still over there shooting at me.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
there's no real reason to, because when you get down to just the archers, then it's really easy to get at least like a couple of UTs per archer, and that's gonna mount up pretty quickly.
I don't know if I feel like I have to go over there or something at one point, or it's just because the enemies started thinning out here, and I would have had to wait a long time for them to come over here, because time is a factor as well in terms of your score.
Yeah.
And again, if you wanted to easily do this, especially in Sigma, you would have the level 2 flails at this point, because there's the Miramasa statue you could go to and upgrade. Because I know in normal, I think that's an option in the chapter beforehand with the bone dragon. You can have the level 2 flails because of that. So you would just make mincemeat of this mission, and it would go by really fast. And I still think no matter what, you would get the Master Ninja ranking. So.
You would, yeah. I mean, as of that normal run where we just did, on Black at least it's possible. So I would assume on Sigma it's also still viable to get Master Ninja without even doing any UTs.
See, right there was the perfect example of, again, the what I'm talking about as the animation's happening and I'm charging and getting that UT. Because like I said, if your timing's off on that, it really kind of messes it up on a lot of the fights. You have to almost get out of the area and kind of reset. If you stay there and try to force it, you would get. I just hate when he kind of tracks you and you think he's going to
they just hold the shot. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
See, right there was an example of the animation was off with my movement, and I started charging, and then the yellow came, and then I still had to wait. So look at all the running around. And you were talking about the camera control in one of the other videos. What should I have done there? Move the camera with my movement is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, like you'd want to pan the camera to the left to kind of keep up with the rear, because that's kind of what throws off the camera angles that you get. Like, the reason you get really wonky camera angles in this game is because you're not controlling the camera, essentially. Like, that's a very simplified way of putting it, but it is kind of true. Like, if you get a really bad camera angle, there was probably at least one instance where you could have repositioned the camera to where you wouldn't have got the angle that kind of messes you up.
Yeah, that's... See, like right there, I didn't have to roll back that far. I think I was trying to get an enemy before the archer came out, or I wanted to see where the archer was going. And also, 1X will stun a zombie to where you can get a full charge on him.
Yep. In-air X works too, with the Luna. In-air X is a really good move, actually, on the zombies, because you can kind of, like, jump towards them. In-air X, it recovers super fast, goes straight into an on-landing. It's a really, really good move to set up UTs.
Also, I think watching your kill counter, we talk about it all the time. Oh, I got lucky there. That my windmill shuriken, I don't think hit anybody right there.
Yeah.
But also kind of keep track of your kills so you know that you have... how many essences you have out there. Like whenever I landed, I knew I had 2, even though the guy spawned and there was another guy, the archer spawned, and then there was another guy next to him. See, I think do I have to wait here? I thought that there was one where I jumped back too far and have to wait. But anyway, just know how many essences that you have out there. That's again, that's a skill that I think people don't always appreciate. Just watching that kill counter while you're doing UTs and doing movements and everything to see how many kills you have out there, and also listening to audio cues. See, yep. There's an example of what we're talking about right there too, about the charge. I think that's not the same. I think I get my I think that was my 50th UT, but I wanted to make sure. So this is a little extra time here. But also the zombies are different colors. One's more of a brown, and the other one's kind of a light tan. So a light tan will take 1 UT, and then the brown one can usually take 2 UTs. So kind of keep that in mind right here.
Yeah.
And
it's amazing how many people comment on that they don't realize that until it's pointed out.
No.
There's two different zombie types, and it's like, yeah, you know, the darker ones have way more health, like substantially more health. So,
and see, that's something too you could use as well. You know, try to maybe if you wanted to focus in on the lighter ones at first. That way, you know, you can get a couple UTs on the darker ones.
Yeah.
My on landings aren't the greatest here, but there are ways to get some extra UTs out of this. If your positioning's good on the little wisps. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised I actually jumped back to the right direction.
Well, you can wind run too, if you want. You can just wind run a zombie, like even off of a neutral jump, and you'll get a UT.
One thing I want to say is I have the potency on. And I might have shown that at the beginning, but yeah, I don't have the Armlet of the Sun on. I have the potency on, because a full UT or potency with the Sun on ended up killing them faster than I wanted to. Yeah. Now this right here, because of the wisps, you don't have to go across the bridge, but you'll miss out on 3 kills, and it's not a big deal. But in NGB it was.
Yeah, it costs you your kill bonus. You can farm here after the Hydra Gauntlet, but you don't really want to have to do that. You don't get archers in this fight on NGB. So
yeah, and that kind of they spawn at different times. You know, depending on what enemies you kill and what the color of the enemies that you kill, really depends on the spawn pattern. See, I want to kind of stagger that, and I didn't. You know. The perfect pattern there is to kill the 2, and then that way you can charge up a UT or an ET, then you'll absorb one of the yellows. And then, yeah, see, I kind of, this really wasn't a very good, in terms of score, a very good fight. But
this is, yeah, I was going to say, I remember this one from when I was just playing through it a while ago. Like, the time limits here compared to Black, they're really quite strict. Like, you don't have, I mean, on Black, even on, like, normal, you have quite a bit of time on these encounters, but for Sigma, especially with the inclusion of the archers, you know, because they don't come towards you, like, you have to go towards them, that also costs you time.
Yeah, see, I think if, I don't know if I could have got an extra ET out of that or something. That's one of the fun things that I like. Is I kind of jumped there, and hopefully to kill a guy. This fight right here, I actually tried a few times, more than a few times, I think, because I wanted to try to get some extra UTs here. I think, you know, I could have got 2 extra UTs on the wisps, and then I never could make it up there in time. You know, It was just too fast for me, and I suck with the bow. I really suck with the bow and Sigma. So I kind of did this, you know, just the easy way for me, and used the platform. Now, if I ran straight down after killing the first archer guy and ignored the wisps, and then tried to do the wall run and do the shuriken to get onto the wall, the incendiary shuriken, and then, you know, wall jump and get on the wall next to the archers, it always targeted the wisps, even though that they were much farther away than what the archers are.
Yeah, so you have to be very, very quick to get Ryu to target the zombies.
This right here, I think I fell off a couple times whenever I was kind of practicing, because I hadn't done it in so long. And
yeah, like, oh. It's funny. I think this probably isn't in many videos, because, like, you know, as everyone knows about the red and blue room shortcut now. But yeah, you know, that's how you're intended, you know, to do those rooms is use the arrow thing. Although they did change it in the red room,
right.
Which is weird, because I think the red room in a way is easier, because you at least have the bridge all the way there.
Yeah, yeah. This right here is, and there's my no run. I'm telling you, man. My movement sucks. You know, it's just, I said it before, it's like an out of control, over-correcting steering whenever you lose control of a car. I mean, that's what it feels like to me.
It is cool having the level 3 Luna early.
Yeah, You know, I don't think I don't think I ever did that in any of the other. Could you upgrade your Lunar to level 3 in normal at this point? So
you can in Sigma.
Movement.
Yeah, you can in Sigma, not in Black, because at this point in Sigma, you're essentially one chapter ahead. That's like because in normal, in Black, normally rather, you can the earliest you can upgrade the Lunar is chapter 8, and I think because you're like a chapter ahead here, the game like gives you that upgrade early on. It's a real shame it doesn't apply to the Debilero though, because this is chapter 9, isn't it?
Yeah.
And in chapter 9 in NGB, you can upgrade the Debilero, and if you get the Debilero early on, I think Very Hard Master Ninja, then you can actually use it, you know, in this chapter. But you can't upgrade it. It would be really cool to have a like level 2 Debilero at this point. Then again, with equipment, you essentially have the level 2 Debilero
right.
in this game.
Well, I kind of got a bad spawn there earlier to where 2 guys came out. And I ended up killing them. And the spawn was, you know, a little unfortunate because I still had like 20-something seconds left. I wasn't going to replay all that stuff to try to get an extra 1 or 2 UTs out of it. And also running down the wall, I've noticed on like the speed runs the guy does of Sigma, they kind of do like the flying swallow off of the wall, and it makes them go down there really fast. I had a hard time figuring that one out. It's just the lack of practice or trying it. And I know I need to practice a lot of this stuff, and I just don't want to, you know, to do it. And also the controls for the water, I'm so used to pulling or pushing up to go down that it kind of messes me up, because at first I have to pull or push down in order to go down. And then after that, I've got the controls worse. But because you can run on the water right there, it's kind of messes me up. Now
you can chain a UT in that zombie fight if you do the flying swallow trick, in case anyone's wondering. Like, it is fast enough that you can chain a UT.
This right here is not the best, and again, I didn't really practice a lot of. See, I missed my gleaming blade right there, I missed my gleaming blade. I didn't practice with the dual swords. You know, I didn't do that. I don't know if it was better or not. Also, when I kind of played through the chapter once. Again, it wasn't the end of the world that I missed my gleaming blade right there, but still, you know, it's a good habit to get into. And
it's a hefty boss bonus though. He's 60 seconds, so he's going to be in the region of like 2,000 points a second. So even that 1 second of like when you have to hold Y on the regular UT, that versus the gleaming blade is about 2,000 points.
Well, whenever I played through, and remember, I showed this because the pillars go up on both sides. And so, if you need to go stock up at Maramasa, I mean, you can do it later because there's a Maramasa statue by the elevator.
Yeah.
But it does.
I can't imagine he gets many customers there. Thinking about it. It's an odd place for him to put one.
Look at this. Ugh.
That NGO4 DNA is in there, man. Yep.
Look at all the blood I lost right there, too.
I mean, they're pretty big arrows. You know?
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is, I played through each chapter so I can do a lot of skip of the cutscenes and stuff like that whenever I'm making the video. And whenever I played through that chapter, just kind of getting used to everything, I did 1 cycle Hydrocubus. And of course, I didn't have it recorded, because I was just playing through it or whatever. But I think my kill bonus was like 175,000 versus like 100. I mean, I lost 20-something thousand points.
Yeah.
You know, not being able to 1 cycle. But I'm surely not going to go back and try to play all of that and then 1 cycling. That's
it's the fights before it that make it tricky. You know what would have been a great addition to Sigma if they'd have just moved that save statue down. You know, the one that's before the Hydra Gauntlet. They'd have just put an extra save statue down there. That would have been nice.
Yeah, it would be nice to practice that, but it's just going through. Well, you don't really have to. You can skip all the fights. You know, you could do the red room, blue room, and you don't even have to kill the enemies. To,
No, you don't. Yeah, good point.
That.
Yeah, in Sigma, you don't have to kill them. You can just press the button and leave.
I think
Which is weird. Weird change.
But again, if I tried this with my lunar, and again, if you save at the save statue up top, come and come down here, it wouldn't be a time fight if you tried it again.
Yeah.
So just be careful of that. Now, where's my other statue? Because I didn't have one in the archive, right?
You get it after you kill Spirit Doku.
Okay, but what? Well, I'm supposed to have. And what about the other one after that?
That is the next one. Yeah, they just moved the first one.
Yeah, and they moved that one to after you kill Spirit Doku.
Yeah, the one that you normally get in the safe room, you now get after you kill Spirit Doku. The first one's now the last one you get.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it'd be like, man, where is this thing? And I couldn't think of it. And it's like, if I get to the end of this and can't, miss something, I'm going to be pretty upset.
Speaking of which, moved items. There is actually an extra scarab in the red and blue room. There's one in each room on Sigma because the little bit before the flame worm with the fire turrets essentially, that's not in Sigma, so that's where they moved that scarab to. So you actually do have one extra scarab early in Sigma, which I don't think actually gives you anything.
Well, I mean, you get the 20, so I think I go here, and I have my 20 scarabs now, and that I'm actually going to get my Dobby at this point.
Oh yeah, you would, yes, but I suppose you have it for the start of Chapter 10. Better than nothing.
Oh yeah. I actually use that coming up, but I spend a lot of my money. I haven't really upgraded my wooden sword. I'm putting a lot of faith in my military chapter, that I'm going to have some time to essence farm.
You'll definitely have time to farm there. That I think Chapter 9. Yeah, it is Chapter 9, isn't it? The time limit's like 28 minutes.
Did you like my little transition where I was going up with the elevator?
Yeah, but that's a very, very generous time limit in Chapter 11 in Sigma.
So here, there's a couple ways. I still don't understand why I'm pressing the buttons and I'm not connecting her or something. I don't know if I'm close to the wall or something, but this is just the Nimpo trick.
Is that Nimpo graded?
It's level 2, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I think it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is hitting pretty hard.
Now, I don't have any enhancements on other than my Dragon Gauntlet, but there are other ways of knocking her down if the Flying Swallow doesn't work. And we'll talk about that after this. So the time limit's 30, 31, or 32 minutes roughly, but in hard it's only 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's you got to have some pretty good movement there with extra enemies, and I'll figure all of that out once I get to that. So this Falcon Gauntlet I'm actually going to equip for the next video, and see how that works.
What does that do again?
That increases the strength of the Nimpo, or how powerful it hits, or something.
Yeah.
But going back to Alma, whenever she swoops or stomps, roll away, briefly hold Y, or that's how I describe it. Don't just press and hold just for a second and release.
Not too briefly, or you'll get Blade of the Undefeatable.
Yeah. So it's finding that balance. You have to really kind of practice it. That's one thing I do recommend people, to practice. And also, if she starts to throw pillars or beam you up while she's right on top of you, Nimpo out of it.
Yeah.
And, you have a real good chance of knocking her down. And then the move is, well, for me, and JTB has the better movement, but I do the XY, XXY string to come down with that Y. That way I don't have the recovery if I did the XY, XXX. And because you have a better chance of your Nimpo after you recast it to hit her and knock her down. But you do what move on her to do the extra damage?
You do XXYB, XY, XXY, but you have to land. In order to do that, you basically she needs to land close enough to you to where you don't have to move. So you need to either, as soon as you knock her down, you need to roll into the direction where she's going to land and then do your XXY, or you need to knock her down near a wall, in which case you don't have to move at all.
Yeah, so...
You can also go for a relaunch if you don't have Nimbo, too.
Well, there's also a cool little firewheels trick that I forget who showed it on the speedrun challenge. Was that Cormag? Do you remember?
Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah.
And that it juggles her with firewheels, and you don't see that method too much on a Karma run, but it's.
I think it is actually slower though, isn't it? From what I remember, I mean, it is fast, but it's not as fast as like a perfect Inferno loop, like that. And especially if you're using equipment. I mean, I think it only takes 2 Nimbos and that full string to kill her. It's lightning fast.
So again, I think on this for people, if you don't want to do some of the UT farming that I did, again, I'm sorry, that's just that karma in me. It killed me to miss some of those points, but. I had to try to draw a line there, but go through and on the very first fight, you could just flail UT your way through fast. You could flail UT through the zombie challenge really fast. The enemies down on the pit, again, really fast, and have a decent Hydrocubus. I don't even think at that point you would, you would definitely want to make the time bonus. But, if it's, as long as you make it, I think you would be okay. Because that is a lot of points.
It is, yeah. I mean, I think on normal, if you're doing every fight and even getting kind of minimal UTs, at least if the NGB runs anything to go by, like, you'll get Master Ninja with the chapter bonuses.
Well, I tried in the safe room whenever I came up the elevator, and it's the 3 ninjas. I tried that a few times, and I just said, you know what, I'm just going to use the Nimpo. And because... trying to jump and do an on-landing Gleaming Blade, even if you connect with one, the other guys could be, at the end of the hall, and I think there's only like 11 or 12 seconds in that fight to begin with. I mean, it's pretty short. I mean, it might be a little bit longer, but not enough to where if they don't all spawn right together and you catch 2 of them in maybe a Gleaming Blade or something, that time limit's tough to make. So
yeah, I think it is 11 seconds.
Yeah, so, I got my Nimpo, and to be honest with you, I didn't know where that other guy was on the last UT. That's the reason I equipped the Lunar on that, because I just absorbed the essence and hoped that he was close enough to run in that, because I know that animation is going to go through, whereas if they were a little bit farther away with the flails or the Dragon Sword, I would have whiffed. Or even the Dabi. I mean, I might have been able to use the Dabi at that point. But... I've had it to where the guy's been close by and you release a UT and I guess the game doesn't see him or go in that direction or something, and it'll just like UT the wall or the desk, or that's the reason I decided to use the Lunar on that. It seemed a little bit more...
Or Ryu just has an off day.
Yeah, well, I'm playing him, so he has an off day every day. But look, I think that's it. It's... getting the Master Ninja ranking in this one is not that hard. The Alma time limit can be a little tricky, but I think if you make the kill bonuses and throw in some UTs, and even if you don't make it on Alma, it's not the end of the world. But again, you could always go and save and practice that fight. That's a good practice for everybody, I think, to try that Nimpo loop on Alma.
Yeah, you can also do it with the dual swords too. I don't think a lot of people know that, but you can. The same combo works.
It's just, I just never...
The dual swords might even do more damage, actually.
I think in your run, you did them with the dual swords.
My run from 100 years ago, yeah.
Right.
Like on my original run, I used the dual swords, because... it was one of those things where I mean, this is going back a long time, but the Dragon Sword loop might not have even been known then at that point. I'm not sure.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, we're talking like 14 years ago, so... the dual swords, and I say because you can level up the dual swords to level 3 in chapter 9, that's going to do a lot of damage. I'd have to go back and check to see like what actually does more damage, but it wouldn't surprise me if the dual swords did more. I mean, there are 2 swords, so yeah.
Right.
You would
right,
expect
right.
them to do more
Right,
damage.
right.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the Hydrocubus fight. You know, it's good practice if people ever want to try to make a serious run at getting a high score. Because if you're going to play for Karma and make a serious run, you're going to need a good Hydrocubus and you're going to need a good Alma.
Yeah, exactly.
You can lose. Like I said, I didn't one cycle Hydrocubus and lost, 25,000 points.
Yeah.
That's 5 UTs that are, hard to make up. You can't ever make up any points. That's something that we've talked about a long time ago. And that's the points for the next guy, though, who's doing this, not for me right now. Okay, guys. Well, look, hope y'all enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next chapter. Take care.
Take care, everybody. Peace.